Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to the Ummahpreneur podcast. I'm so excited to bring to you today a guest that has some experience not only in apparel and e-commerce, but also in digital marketing. And what we're going to talk about is a conversation that revolves around how to really succeed in the apparel space, as well as how to succeed as an entrepreneur and her background and her story and how she built these two businesses. And I'm also probably going to touch about how she lives in Dubai in the UAE because it's something I'm curious about. I might consider moving there eventually. So we're going to talk about that as well because for entrepreneurs, there's some advantages, inshallah. Nawal, thank you so much for joining me today. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, Abby, how are you? Thank you for having me and reaching out.
Yeah, of course. No,
Great
the
to be
pleasure is
here.
all mine. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you today. And I always like for someone to share their background before we, start talking about business and everything else. So can you share with me a little bit more about what inspired you to become an entrepreneur? What even, motivated you to start these businesses that you have today?
So I started my journey in corporate actually after I graduated from the American University of Sharjah. I was working in Unilever for around 2 to 3 years. And on my journey in Unilever, I realized I wanted to pursue something greater.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that being in a 9 to 5 is not something of value and of greatness, because I do believe it is. But I do believe in my purpose and passion. I had something greater to offer, and I wanted to pursue that. And as soon as I finished my stint in Unilever, I left and started Exhale. And actually, while I was in Unilever, I was sketching and thinking about a brand or an organization that I wanted to open. And the motivation of that organization and brand, which is called Exhale today, was my severe anxiety and borderline depression. Uh, I was diagnosed with severe anxiety at 16 years old, but officially diagnosed at 24. And struggling with mental health allowed me to channel all that pain and energy into wanting to pursue something greater, which was Exhale. And Exhale today is an enablement platform and brand that allows artists and organizations to support social causes and self-expression, with the core message being mental health. This was my true motivation, was my mental health struggle. And yeah, started Exhale after leaving Unilever after 2 years and a half, 3 years. And ever since then, I've been full-time entrepreneur on Exhale. And almost 2 years ago, I co-founded a creative marketing agency called Aswad.me, where we support startups and organizations in purposeful driven visual identities and marketing.
Okay, interesting. So let me ask you this. What was it that really for you, was there a defining moment in your journey working with Unilever that made you decide that, you know what, this is not a path that I can go down anymore? Was there something that happened? Was there an event in your life that really made you feel like this was not a path you could go down further?
There was an event in my life that occurred that just changed my perspective and where I am today at the time. It was my grandfather's death and my struggle with mental health. And my grandfather's death was a trigger to how short life is and what is our true purpose as humans. And how can we deliver that true purpose in the position that we're in? You can deliver that true purpose even if you're working a 9 to 5 in the organization that you're working in, and you can deliver that value. For me, my true purpose was to open Exhale and to drive that community feel and understanding that there's so much that we can do together if creatively we come together, So,
Tell me
yeah.
more about Exhale. Tell me more about Exhale and what you're building, because it sounds like it's more than just an apparel clothing line. When I'm listening to you, it sounds like, the apparel is a byproduct, but there's a bigger mission at play here. So tell me more about that. What is it that you're really trying to achieve?
So with Exhale, you're right. The product is a tool, as everything else in life. The product is a tool for us to send out the message of mindfulness, of self-expression, of purchasing with purpose. And the true essence of Exhale is community. How do we come together to create true impact? How do we come together to speak about our purpose and values? And how do we come together to tell one another that we're not alone? And to me, what Exhale did was heal me through my severe anxiety and borderline depression. It allowed me the space to express myself in my utmost unapologetic self. And how it did that was through collaborations, through creating what's within you and seeing it come to life and seeing the community come together to experience it, and getting the feedback of when someone buys something that they feel this product is now it's part of them. And on their down days, people send us messages like, today I needed Exhale. Today I needed to wear Exhale. And the true purpose is to understand that we're not alone. We are not alone. You're never really alone, no matter what you're going through. And you can unapologetically be yourself, but with purpose. So the true essence of Exhale is community. And the core message is mental health and self-expression.
How do you integrate community into your business? You know, because right now, I mean, looking at your products and what you share, I've seen some of the apparel that you've built, and some of the things on it are almost like reminders and affirmations. Some of the words that you choose to put, which is really beautiful. And you know, sometimes it's important for us. You know, there's this whole philosophy behind why affirmations are important and why sometimes repeating for ourselves certain things helps really ingrain that belief within ourselves and ingrain. You know, even when you look at Islam and the way that, you know, we as Muslims operate and the du'as that we have to do every single day and the reminders that we do in prayer 5 times a day, for me, like, prayer is an affirmation. It's that 5 times a day we're putting time aside to remember that, you know, ultimately there's all these important things in life that we're chasing, but we have to remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the day is the greatest thing that we have to continuously chase, right? And so it's almost like an affirmation every single day, 5 times a day. And wearing something that has on it a reminder that kind of grounds us is as well almost like an affirmation in a sense. Now tell me how you're integrating community along with the apparel that you've built, right? Because you want to build not only an e-commerce, but also a movement, a community together. So how are you doing that right now?
So integrating a community within Exhale is the most important thing and part of Exhale. And how we do that is to reach out to these creatives and these artists and the people who feel like they are not being heard or not being seen. And even the ones who are being heard and being seen, we do call outs, we reach out to them. Some already know of Exhale and reach out to us. When we have opportunities with organizations, our most recent one was with Mini Cooper. When we have such opportunities, we reach out to the community and give them a space to flourish within that space and build their portfolios, build their self-esteem, build their confidence in what they're doing. If you didn't have a chance to express yourself in your utmost self, then this is your chance to showcase to the world that, yes, I can. And this intention is to give these creatives and artists an opportunity to grow their portfolio, but furthermore, to have others believe in them. You know, the community is here to grow one another. And in Exhale, we believe that if these artists grow, then we grow with them. And there's nothing we want more than to see the community expand in that sense, in their self-awareness. And self-awareness to us is something that we try to push a lot. So our collections, as you can see, Exhale's logo is self-reflected. Reason being is because the mirror is our tool. We use the mirror to remind people to look in front of the mirror and remember that you are what matters. What you think of yourself is what matters. And when you turn around, people are going to read that message in reverse. And therefore, many times in this world, people do read you in reverse. People do misjudge you. People do believe what they want to believe about you, with reason being of their background and what they believe of the world. And a reminder to self-reflect and remember that what you read about yourself is the right thing is the most important self-awareness reminder to keep us going in our path of purpose. As you said, in Islam, subhanAllah, everything we do is a reminder. It is a repetition. And yes, everything in exhale is made to remind you of yourself, of your inner power, of your truest, authentic, unapologetic expression.
You're putting a lot into, it's interesting because like seeing kind of the meaning behind it, there's a lot of meaning and thoughtfulness and intention that was put in behind the logo, behind everything that you've built with this business. And it's really nice because it's not, and this is one of the things that I want to highlight because there's, most of our audience is entrepreneurs in this podcast. A lot of times we start the business with the goal of, okay, like what kind of product do I think is going to be the most profitable? Let's just start a store, generic logo, generic products. Let's go, let's make it work, right? And then they wonder why they're not getting into sales. And I think this year is very much a lesson in why, is because a business needs to first start with the intention. What is the intention behind the business? What is the meaning behind it? What are we trying to accomplish? Because when you have that meaning and that purpose, other people can rally behind that purpose as well. And if they believe in your cause, just like you do, then they will identify with these products that you're selling. And, with this apparel, when they wear it, it's going to make them feel a certain way. And there's nothing more powerful than bringing people a feeling, right? Instead of just like a clothing item or something else. So tell me about the digital marketing agency that you're building as well, and the creative agency, because I looked at the branding that you have for your business with Exhale, and it's very well done, mashallah. And clearly you have some talent, some skill there. So what inspired you to as well start to tap into offering this talent and skill to other businesses? Tell me about that.
So my journey through Exhale was a very difficult one, and it still is, and I know that it will always be. And I am fully accepting of it. And through that journey, I realized that all the knowledge that I have gained could not be kept to myself, and it should be shared, and shared with startups that want to start something with purpose. At Aswad, we love to work and only want to work with people who want to define a purpose to their business, one that supports humanity's either mental well-being, physical well-being, spiritual well-being, and grow from there. And through gaining all this experience, I realized there's a lot of people coming to me and asking me for support. For a good year, I supported for free and took time off my day. But over time, it got really hectic, and I realized, all right, maybe we need to open an umbrella. One of the days, I met a friend, and her name is Noor, which is the founder of Aswad. I'm the co-founder. We co-founded it in almost 2 years ago, sorry. And she's like, I'm opening up an agency and I need your support. She was one of the supporters that I was supporting. And after supporting her for almost 6 months, helping her open her company, which is Aswad, helping her position the brand and all of that journey, she asked me, why don't you just co-found it with me and let's run it together? I'm like, this is a perfect moment, because honestly, I have way too many people coming to me and asking me for support. I think we can put everyone under one umbrella and create services that can benefit them at a larger scale than just an hour of my time every other week. Mm-hmm. So the motivation was first to share my experience. Second, to be able to give more services to more organizations and grow the team in Aswad. So Noor and I today have a roast of freelancers who we work with, who have different aesthetics from all over the world, and that can support brands and startups in different genres and areas and taste, if you can say.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's really interesting. And so tell me this, as a marketer and as a CEO and founder and entrepreneur, what have you noticed to be, I would say, your top three most effective kind of marketing strategies when it comes to your apparel business, right? Like how did you get the word out once you've built Excel and you've come up with this vision? What did you feel was the most effective way to get the word out to people and kind of start to build traction? If you can give us like two or three strategies, tips that you've used that have come in handy for you that our audience can benefit from, inshallah.
So I see that first and foremost, impactful campaigns that have a true story behind them can really grow your brand in a way that no one really can fathom. The story itself will ripple affect word of mouth. So I believe strong, impactful visual storytelling campaigns, as well as physical pop-ups and locations that you believe your target audience are located genuinely, be it yearly events, monthly events, wherever it is. These pop-ups are very impactful for word of mouth. From these pop-ups, we have loyal customers from Exhale who have been with us almost 6 years now. And these kind of customers are your family. These are your true community. The third is the obvious digital marketing and ads. But for me, focusing on your community and feeding that community and allowing the word of mouth to organically grow is the most essential.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And, when you talk about like campaigns and impactful campaigns specifically, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by an impactful campaign versus a non-impactful campaign?
I believe an impactful campaign includes heavy storytelling and heavy purpose. It is well thought out in terms of what is the purpose that is driven behind this product. Many times we see campaigns, but you don't understand that there's an impactful story that touches the insides of a human being. The true essence of maybe a human's pain, maybe a human's happiness, maybe a human's nostalgia, whatever it may be. These campaigns are the impactful campaigns. When something speaks to me through me, is the impactful campaign. And we always say, Exhale mirrors you. Exhale speaks to you through you. Yeah. We're not here to speak to you. And I'm here to speak to what's inside you. Mm-hmm. And I'm here to move and impact and motivate what lives inside you. And that is the true consciousness and awareness that I want to bring forth in every human being. To me, that is my true purpose and mission, is to be an empathy-focused leader. I'm on a mission to open the hearts of humanity through Exhale, through Aswad, and lead in purpose and in impactful campaigns. Hopefully.
Yeah, I know. I love that. So from what it sounds like to me, like if I were to put it in words, like, for my audience so they can like kind of like take notes of this. So what you're really doing is you're actually starting with the purpose first, like your marketing, your message, it's purpose driven, right? So you're not starting your marketing by saying like, hey, like, okay, we're not getting sales of this product. So what we need to do is we need to like discount and like, run like a promotional thing, like 50% off, and that's how we'll do it. And, just try to like kind of go for like the pricing as the incentive, but rather what you're saying is like, no, the incentive is the purpose. It's the intention. It's the message behind the product, and people who resonate with that message, those are going to be the people that end up purchasing, that end up becoming customers and clients for life, because now they're bought in to what we're trying to achieve. And I think that's a very interesting way to look at it. And it's very much a more effective way of marketing than trying to market based off of pricing or based off of discounts or promotions when you're in e-commerce and apparel, which a lot of people make the mistake of doing, is they don't have clarity on the message, they don't have clarity on the purpose, on the intention, And so they're trying to compete based off of pricing and all the other things, all the other factors. And then they're wondering why it's so difficult. So I want to ask you this, Nawal, because I mentioned I was going to ask you this in the intro of the podcast. You currently live in Dubai. Was this where you've been living all of your life, or did you move there recently?
I was born and half raised in Montreal, Canada, and
I live in Montreal, Canada.
right now you're in Montreal.
I'm in Montreal right now.
No
Yeah,
way.
which neighborhood are you? Were you?
I was raised and born in Laval.
Laval. Okay, yes. I'm in LaSalle right now. If you remember what
Okay.
neighborhoods were.
Of course,
Yes,
I
yes. Amazing.
I
Okay,
visit
cool.
Canada every other year. I still have family there, but my other half was raised in Saudi, Riyadh. And after I graduated from high school, I went to study in American University in Sharjah. Sharjah is also a beautiful place. And ever since, I just stayed in the UAE. So it's been almost 14 years here.
Wow, amazing, mashallah.
And I do love this place. I believe it has great opportunities. It is a middle ground between Canada and Saudi for me.
Right.
And yeah, been here for a while.
All right, cool. And I, I have a few entrepreneur friends who moved to Dubai, and the reason why they did is because like the income tax is like
Yeah,
very good for businesses, which is also when you have an online business like myself. Like I'm not the only reason I'm still in Montreal right now as my home base is truly for family. My parents are getting older. May Allah preserve their health, and so they need support. They need someone there close to them. So that's mainly why I'm here. But as an online business owner, I'm like, I'm getting taxed a lot for being here. This is kind of frustrating.
it's so
Um, so so that's how a lot of friends have actually moved to Dubai, because there's a lot of tax incentives and there's a lot of benefits for entrepreneurs. So for you as an entrepreneur, can you actually share that with me a little bit? So from like the management and operations side, are there any benefits to being in Dubai that you've noticed?
There's a lot of support here. You work and you will be seen. If you work hard, you will be seen and you will be heard, and you do have opportunities. And what's beautiful about Dubai is that everyone from every part of the world that maybe you might not be able to meet if you're somewhere else, you will be able to meet here due to the diversity of human beings crossing Dubai. Another benefit to being in Dubai is I've been, for example, working on Exhale for the past 7 years, and they've recently opened the golden visa applications. And as an entrepreneur who has been here and creating here with Exhale's portfolio and success, I managed to get the golden visa. These kind of this when the government looks at you in that way, you feel like you kind of are like what you're providing is not going to waste, you know?
Nice, yeah, definitely. So you feel like there's an entrepreneurial ecosystem here, where you are in Dubai, and that it promotes entrepreneurs, and also you're connecting with other people, which is pretty much a good place for you if you're like a remote worker or an online business owner to be, because you're in an environment where you feel like there's some benefits and you can thrive in terms of networking, in terms of opportunities, as well as in terms of like tax breaks, etc.
Definitely the entrepreneurial ecosystem in the UAE, be it Sharjah as well and Dubai, it's powerful and impactful, and there's always someone great that you can reach out to, be it incubators, mentors, investors, VCs. They're reachable, they will talk to you, they will mentor you, and they're pretty helpful to be able to grow your brand and for you to grow as a human being, as an entrepreneur, to be leading and managing with greatness. You do need these people to actually answer you. And usually the C levels are usually too busy to do that. And I'm finding that here it's not as difficult to reach out and have a cup of coffee and get mentored by them an hour a month, maybe, you know? And yeah, the ecosystem here is great.
Alhamdulillah, that's really cool to hear as well.
In Montreal.
In Montreal, well, in Montreal, there is no ecosystem. That's the truth, you know? Like, so, I mean, you know this probably, but it's kind of like, because it's such a big city and because, you know, every single person is, it's kind of like the one of those big city life, like, so the big city life, right? It's kind of like whether you're in New York or you're in, like in London. Montreal's one of the big cities in the world. And it's kind of like you come and there's everyone is so busy doing their own thing and everything is so fast paced that like you barely even have time to see your family, right? When you're in Montreal, it's just everything is so fast paced here. And you know, every time I travel to really any other country or any other place where things are a little bit more laid back, I just kind of see even like the way that people are different. So like people are just a little more relaxed, they're friendlier, you know, they're not as stressed out all the time. They're not as much in a rush, right? As here in Montreal. So it really very much is like the big city life, right? So when you're here as an entrepreneur, I feel like, especially as a Muslim entrepreneur, and you're in a non-Muslim country, and so, you know, and even within the Muslim community here, there is a big Muslim community in Montreal, but I would say like contrary to like the UK or the US, where I feel like they're a little bit more connected. I would say Montreal, actually, we're not as connected as I would like, to be honest. You know, like we all each have our own mosques in our own neighborhoods, and like things are a little bit kind of, you know, dispersed and separate. So I definitely see the appeal of being in a place where, you know, you have a little bit more of that sense of community, you have a little bit more of that support system, and you have a little bit more as well of those opportunities as an entrepreneur to grow. I think that's very beneficial. It's something I'm strongly considering right now at this stage in my journey of how I can potentially, you know, move up into a place, inshallah, where I'm able to run my business more effectively, if that makes sense. Because because in Montreal, the situation hasn't been so great. But I mean, you've been visiting here recently, so you probably know everything that I'm talking about. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I tried to apply to Montreal and check out the ecosystem in Montreal. I haven't been since 2019. I've never been as an entrepreneur with my business to Canada, although I am Canadian by passport. But as you said, I think I was always drawn to being in a Muslim country. When you're in a Muslim country and you're a practicing Muslim, there's so much relief and peace in your heart knowing that you are interacting with someone who fears the same thing you do and loves the same thing you do. And it's what drives me to stay in a Muslim country as a practicing Muslim. And it's just, in Montreal, when I tried to apply, I felt there was no, as you said, support the way I found in Dubai. There was not much of, as well, the tax was just a turnoff. But,
yeah, for sure.
But I feel, as you said, like, it wasn't appealing to me. I wanted to experience it, but I do want to expand my business there, nonetheless. But not as living there. Just expand it and into Canada, Europe, States, and send out more self-reflective reminders to the world and ripple affect it into the world from east to west. You know, and this is my mission, to bring a brand from east to west and showcase what the Ummah is capable of. And we are capable of greatness. And we have found greatness since the beginning of time. And it continues. And only when we come together does it continue. When we agree with one another does it continue. And that is my true wish in this world before I leave, is to see the Ummah come together in that way, in the way of greatness.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you that wish and grant us all that wish. I mean, that's a beautiful wish. I love that, mashallah. And I like that mission that you have. So one thing that I did want to touch upon is, because you mentioned that you do a lot of like pop-ups, and I was partnered I was an apparel company. It was actually like the glasses that I'm wearing are Craywoods. And I was partnered within that company. And it's kind of like we make like these wooden eco-friendly sunglasses. And we did a lot of pop-up shops here in Montreal. And they were really effective. And it's something that a lot of people ignore when they have like an apparel company. They think everything has to be online and just online. But pop-up shops are super effective. You're getting kind of like that local on the ground kind of marketing. People are going, they're seeing, they're touching the product. And honestly, it was a very, very effective way for us to generate sales, to start to build community, start to get a few clients. And so, tell me about that for you. Like, did you notice a positive effect of doing those physical pop-up shops in events, wherever you could for Exhale?
It was very impactful in every sense possible, especially with Exhale. It's a type of brand that you need to touch, feel, and hear the story. And when there's someone there telling you what Exhale is about with true empathy of its purpose, and connect with you and let you know of the self-reflective reminders and all of that, people connect with the product. And at Exhale, we don't do every product the same. There's different products, different designs, catering to different emotions, different causes, different artists. So human beings come in all forms, right? And you can't just create one item and make everyone wear a uniform, right? We need to connect to the things we're wearing. We need to feel the things we're wearing. And these pop-ups allowed us to express that. And the first 2 years of Exhale was fully pop-ups, fully focused on being in the biggest events, the smallest events, and connect to the people and let them know that this is what Exhale is about. When you buy the product, it's not about the product. It's about how you feel about the product. It's about purchasing with purpose and trying to ripple affect that message. The Purchase for Purpose initiative is embedded in the DNA of Exhale. I want every single consumer, customer, community member, artist, creative, reader, just scrolling through to understand that your purchase habit is affecting everything and everyone around you. And although your purchase habit seems impulsive and small and not really doesn't matter, but in fact, your impulsive purchase and your lack of purpose in purchasing is affecting the biggest problems in the world, including your mental health. So let's say you do not want to care about the world. It's fine. But what about your internal being? Because the more you purchase with lack of awareness of what you're purchasing, you are cluttering your mind. You're cluttering your space. And the more you clutter, we all know it causes a lot of other issues in your life and ripples effect into so many other things. So the Purchase for Purpose initiative as well, these on-ground events allowed us to push that message and act with that message. So when you purchase Exhale, you are purchasing with purpose. Why? Because we are self-reflective reminders for your internal being. We are supporting social causes. We are supporting artists and creatives, providing them platforms. If you do not connect with the product, we urge you do not buy the product. It's not here to look cool. It's here to make you feel good. It's here to be your shoulder to cry on or your shoulder to celebrate your success. This is what Exhale is about. We're not here to follow trends. We're just being ourselves, and we want you to be you.
I love that, mashallah. It's such a beautiful, beautiful statement. And I'm really happy that you shared this with me today. I want to ask you, as a way to kind of, wrap up this conversation, because it was one that was, for me, very impactful as well. If you could meet Nawal, who was 18 years old, and she was, kind of about to start her journey through working at Unilever and then eventually building these businesses and kind of going through the ups and downs of life, and you could tell her one thing that she could hold on to as she went through this journey, what would that one thing be for you?
Honestly, I would just tell her, don't stop praying. Don't ever stop praying, and don't disconnect. Nothing matters in this world. Everything is a tool for you to experience your utmost human experience. Don't take life seriously. Nothing is as serious as you think it is. And the only serious thing is your prayer. And the only serious thing is your connection to Allah. And that's the only true thing that matters. So if there's anything I would have loved someone to tell me and continuously remind me, with someone who has severe anxiety, I live a life with continuous reminders. If I am not reminded, I am utterly forgetful, insanely forgetful. The overlooping of thoughts, of overthinking, of anxious, bad thoughts are very easy to leech on. But if there was anything that I needed at 18 and a continuous reminder is to remind me, don't forget that this dunya is not why you're here. Don't forget that, which means you're not here to please people. You're not here to find the utmost amazing job. You're not here to make billions and millions. And if you do, then that's a gift from Allah again, for you to use it for better means. So focus on one core, and that core is your connection. Nothing else matters.
That's a beautiful, beautiful, mashallah. Thank you for sharing that. This conversation was healing for me, man. Oh my God. I love this conversation, mashallah. This was amazing.
I'm really happy to be here, Abby.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really happy to have you, and thank you so much for joining us today. So how can people connect with you? How can they connect with Exhale? How can they go and shop your product? And do you guys ship worldwide, by the way? Is that something that you guys do?
Exhale does ship worldwide. We're currently working on new collections, inshallah, which will be revamped which the website's being revamped currently, but will be on the website soon. We have new upcoming pop-ups, which will be in Yas Mall, and pop-ups in el-asmar Avenue as well. You can connect with Exhale at exhale.ae on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can watch our stories as well, Louder by Exhale. And you can connect with Aswad on aswad.me. If you ever need my support, Noor's support, then we are both here to guide you, inshallah.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Nawal. It was a beautiful and healing conversation that I really enjoyed, and hopefully we'll have one again very soon. Thank you so much.
I look forward.
Yeah, thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.